Welcome back to A Garden and a Bible Farm, friends. So today I have a lot of chores, tasks, projects to do on the farm today. I'm going to be sowing some snap peas as well as some edamame. I'm going to work with my tomatoes because they're looking a bit leggy, and I don't really like the way they're looking. Their leaves are curling. I don't really know what's going on. You know, every season has its own challenges, so I'm going to try to up pot them and then hopefully bury their stems so that they can form new roots and perform better than what they look like right now. I also have to top my peppers, but I think I'm going to do that in a separate video so that I can explain what I'm doing, and then also help you to understand why you want to top peppers, why it's a good practice to top your peppers. And I think for today, or at least for this weekend, that's all I really want to focus on. I have a lot more things coming up in the next couple of weeks because we're in April. Very soon we're going to be in the middle of April, and our chores just keep increasing as it always does. All right, so before we start, let me just show you what some things look like so far on the farm, especially within my containers. Hopefully within the next couple weeks, or hopefully this week that we're going into, I will situate the garden, the big garden, amend some beds that need to be amended, pull out some weeds, and then begin to plant. I want to plant some turnips, some rutabaga, some parsnips, maybe not parsnips, kohlrabi. I would like to direct seed them, but I also think I'm going to start them from seed indoors because I think sometimes they do better when you do that. But either way, there's just a lot to do. I want to bring you along on this vlog. Oh, I need to pot up my flowers. My flowers also need to be potted up or put into its own container and taken to their own space in the big garden. They will not be living here on this deck because they're just not meant to be here. Their pots are a little bit big, and I want them to be with all the other plants in the main garden. So there's just a lot to do, as always, and I'm just going to bring you along for the journey. So let's go. Let me just show you what the place looks like so far. First of all, look, my greenhouse is doing well. My plants are also doing well. You can see my oregano, they are thriving. The basil did get a little frost destroyed because they came outside and unfortunately we had a frost, but that's okay. You can see my oregano that's coming back thriving. Can you see it? Yes. It is thriving. This is also oregano that obviously flew into this container. I think I had basil in here last year, but somehow some of the seeds flew here and they're still growing there, and I'm going to leave it actually. Here I have some radishes that I sowed directly into this bag, and same thing with this bag. I put some radishes in this bag too, but I don't know what's going on here. This particular tower doesn't have much of anything except for this natural remedy, which we call self-help. In the back here, I have some chives. Can you see it? This planter looks great. You can see my kale and my spinach and my collards. They're looking great. These smaller ones, I don't know what's going on. This is a sage plant that came back on its own. And of course, I'm just going to leave it there so it can keep doing its thing. This is Swiss chard. I don't know what's going on with it. And some different types of lettuce. I think they're being choked out. Or maybe they need some nutrients. Or maybe their roots were too root bound, like I showed you on Instagram. And they're just not thriving. So maybe I'll replant them. Direct sow some seeds to see if I can fill this bed out. Because by now, this is about 2 weeks after I've done this, they should certainly be growing back. Here I have some radishes as well. This is one lone carrot that I'm going to pull out. My salads are also coming back, as you can see. I had mint in that particular second to last. I don't know what's going on with it. It should be coming back, hopefully. In the back, I also have lemon balm, some holy basil, some tarragon, and that's oregano. And this middle container right here are strawberries. This is thyme right here. Can you see that? That's thyme. And rosemary. That's rosemary, looking good. Today I want to sow some soybeans into these pots. It's a little bit late, but I'm still going to do it. So this is the brand, Fairy Morse soybean, soy. And this is Midori Giant Edamame. Same type of bean, different companies, different brands. So I'm just going to put 2 into each of these with the expectation that they will come up. 1, 2. That's it. Same thing with this. Guys, growing food is so simple. Well, a lot of it is. Some of it is a little bit tricky. That's it. And in this container, I'm going to be putting sugar snap peas. So 1 there. Let's just do 3. There's 1 here, and then I'll put 1 here. So my tomatoes are looking a bit funky. Is this thing slanting? Let's see. Yeah. My tomatoes are looking a bit not nice. A lot of it not nice. And I need to figure it out so that I don't lose this batch of tomatoes, because I'm about 7 weeks away from wanting to plant them outside. I think tomorrow's 7 weeks, either 6 or 7 weeks, you guys, because I want to plant them out May 15th. And so planting them out May 15th, I have very limited time from right now to do so. And I've started these tomatoes, I don't remember, I have to look at my journal, when I started my tomatoes. I don't want to lose them because that would just be not nice, not good at all. I'm looking at some of them. Let me show you. Oh no. So look, this is a Cherokee purple tomato. I'm having issues with watering. I water sometimes and I feel like it's a bit too much, and then sometimes I water and I feel like it's not enough. So this is what happened to this particular tomato. It withered away. But some of them do look okay, like this one. This one is a Bulgoratsky tomato, and it looks good. So it's looking a bit leggy, longer than what I want it to look like right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to repot this, bury the stem. It will make it a bit shorter, and then it will allow for roots to come out. Can you see these white fuzzy hairs? These white fuzzy hairs are all roots that if it touches the soil, it will root and bury themselves and make the plant stronger. This is actually how tomatoes grow in the garden. When you bury them into the hole where you're going to plant them for their lifespan, their growing span, you're going to bury it. Of course, you can bury it up to wherever you want to bury it to, because if you look at the stem of a tomato, there are roots all throughout the stem. Wherever the stem touches the soil is where it's going to root out. And so I'm going to repot this into a cup, into these 18-ounce cups. 18-ounce cups. And so when I do that, let me see. Let me show you how this one will look. Let me keep the name. Squeeze the cup. Hopefully this doesn't take me too long. And after I show you this, I'll tell you what happened. All right, so this is about to get messy. It doesn't matter. That's why I wanted to do it outside. So let's make it clearer. All right, so you can see the roots of this particular tomato. It doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good, actually. It looks healthy. The way you know it's healthy is because it looks white in color. Anyhow, I'm going to put this, or probably dust some of the soil off. I'll see how it works with this one. And then I'm going to bury it into this cup. Now when I bury it into the cup, it makes it to root out. It makes it look like this. But I feel like it's still a bit long. So I'm going to like curve the stem. No, you're not going to break it. By curving it, look at what happens. It looks like this. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Maybe I won't take the soil off. Maybe I'll just bury it with the soil like this, and then it's going to look this short. And all of this that touches the new soil, will begin to root out. And then I solve the issue. And then we start again for at least the next 6 weeks or so. And hopefully we have strong tomatoes. Let's get to working. Tomatoes. So the reason why I'm doing this now is because my intention was to sow 2 seeds, or I sowed 2 seeds into each cup. And my intention was to just go back and cut one of them out. But unfortunately, it's really hard for me to do that. It's hard for me to cut one out, and so I refused to cut one out, and then I allowed the 2 that did germinate, and some of them, to keep growing. And if you know anything about plants, they don't want to compete with anyone next to them. It's going to be robbing them of their own nutrients, and that is what's happening. So a lot of my tomatoes, they do still look green and healthy, but I have quite a bit that have struggled. And so my intention now is to up pot the majority of them into these cups. I hope I have enough cups, and if I don't, then I will just reuse these containers and go from there. Honey, can you guys see? So this is my potting soil that I already poured hot water on, boiling water on, about 2 days ago, and it's just been out here waiting to be used. And that's what's about to happen. So I need to strategically do this. This looks like it's going to work very well, actually. I really like the stem to be at the edge. There we go. I'm gonna push it in. Wow. This is great. This is how it looks. After I do this, I'm going to give it a good drinking of some organic fertilizer so that they can continue to root out. But look, looks better. All right, friends, I'm just finishing after 4 hours of potting up my tomato plants. I was going to say potatoes, but they're tomatoes. And I probably ended up with close to 150. I really didn't count. I think there may be a little bit more than that. But they're all now, except I think 2 or 3 that were really, really small. They're all now placed into these red cups, 18 ounces. 18-ounce cups for them to continue to grow. Hold on. For them to continue to grow for the next 5 to 6 weeks before they go out into the garden. I did have some that didn't make it, so I'm gonna just take note of which ones didn't come up. I do believe I have, for the most part, some extras of those. The one that I'm having problem with is called Opalka. I had a problem with it last year, and I'm still having the same problems with it this year. I may try it again in its own, just like setup with nothing else around it, just to see if I can get it to germinate. Because I really do want to see what that tomato looks like and tastes like more than anything. I know what it looks like, but I want to know what it tastes like. Either way, I am done. I am tired. My nose is running. I hope you can see me. My nose is running. I've been out here for the past, let's see, 4 hours. And my fingers are frozen. But I had to get it done so that you guys can see what it looks like in order for us to pot up tomatoes so that they can continue to grow. In the next couple of weeks, these tomatoes are probably going to reach between 12, 14, 16, some of them maybe 18 inches tall. And that is around the time that you really want to put them into the garden, when they're really established, when their stems are really, really strong, and they're able to stand up on their own without being staked over or staked up, or without being flopped over. So very soon we're going to get them into the garden. That garden is going to get tackled this week. Get the weeds out, amend the beds, fix up my greenhouse, and work on my little mini orchard with my fruit plants. And I have some other projects that's coming up that you will find out about very, very shortly. So thank you so much for watching this video. The best way that you can help this channel is by sharing us on your social media. Put us on your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever social media you use. And until next time, may the earth yield its increase in your life and in your garden. Thanks so much for watching. God bless you.